One of the toughest things to do in all of college football is win on the road. When you're a ranked team going into a hostile environment, these fans are ready to knock them off course. Welcome to Austin, Texas, and DKR, home of the Texas Longhorns. As we'll see, the number 22 team in the country, the Vanderbilt Commodores, taking on another team from the SEC, the Texas Longhorns. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, let's get this thing started. The Longhorns will kick it away to start us off. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. So the Vanderbilt Commodores offense will have the football first. Let's take a quick second to call out some of the impact players their coaches mentioned in meetings this week. Anything you guys heard that really resonated with you?
Yeah, I love when coaches talk about guys that bring it every single day. Like, that we can depend on them. They can get other guys lined up. They're always motivated. They're always being a great teammate. These are the guys that coaches love.
And big-time players make big plays in big games, right? These are the guys that have to play well if they're going to win games like this. It'll be interesting to see what they do today.
This crowd, full throat, splitting the eardrums and letting them know it's going to be a long day. Pulls it in. It's Hoskins. And not much doing there as that defense runs him out of bounds. Horns up and ready to hook them. Serious noise on third down in DKR. Leaves it with the back. They were all over him. Nowhere to go as that third down play turned into a disaster.
Man, this is a defense that prides themselves on stopping the run, and that is a huge statement on their opponent's opening drive of the game. Third and short, they don't just get a stop. They get a tackle for loss. That sends a very clear message that they're going to be the more physical side today.
Makes the catch at the 30. The coverage team was down there to corral him. They made the stop, and they'll mark it at the 39. So Texas offense will go to work for the first time today. It's not often we focus on a matchup quite like this, but David, we have a couple of premier tight ends in this game.
And we've seen it recently, right? Ty Warren last year, Brock Bowers the year before. Like, you can build an offense around an elite tight end, and both of these schools do it. The speed, the playmaking ability, the versatility. Palmer, I bet you wish you had a guy like this you could throw to.
You're right, David. I played with a lot of NFL guys at tight end, but none of them were as dynamic as these two right here. And you're going to see them get the ball in a variety of ways. We're seeing offense change in college football, and one of the biggest reasons is the versatility now at the tight end position, and these are two of the best in the entire country.
Grabbed in the backfield. It's Washington. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain.
Nice route there by the tight end, making it real easy for his quarterback to find an easy completion.
What will they dial up on second, and a long way to go. Off the play fake. Finds his big tight end. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few.
The big fella, the tight end, the wide receiver in a tight end's body going up and making the catch.
They need the 40 to convert here on third down. He wants to throw it again. Takes a hit as he fires. Complete in the middle. They've got it just outside the red zone. They'll move the chains. It's at the 21.
And listen, the defense knew coming into this one, they were going to target him early and often. He is a weapon, and there's no mystery where the quarterback's going to be looking on critical down and distances. Let's see how they're able to cover him throughout the rest of this game.
And the Longhorns look to keep this drive humming. Grab behind the line. It's Moore. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short game there.
Ooh, and that was close for the offense. They try to go wide receiver screen. They're counting on that receiver beating that defender. Wasn't able to make him miss that time, but if I'm on offense, I'm going back to that play later.
They're dealing with a 2nd and long. They'll run play action. Got his man out of the backfield. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
Nice job, defense. You always hear people talk about tackling the catch. You saw it right there. There was nowhere for that receiver to go once he had possession. As a result, no gain.
Now facing a 3rd and long. Back to throw, it's Manning. He'll take a shot. Right through his hands. He had a touchdown and just didn't look the ball in. It'll be 4th down.
On that 3rd down, they took a shot in the end zone, just couldn't connect. QB and receiver not on the same page, and now it's decision time if you're the head coach on 4th.
Looks as if they'll send out the field goal unit. Not a particularly long kick from 36 yards out, but he'll have to guide it in from the left hash. It's good. Easy call for the ref. And with that, they break the seal on the scoring. It's 3-0.
Well, this team knew coming into tonight's game they had to get momentum early, playing at home. They want to get the crowd into it, so you get a beautiful drive here to start this thing. You would have liked to cap it up with a touchdown, but listen, you set yourself up for a field goal, you knock it through the uprights, you've got the lead, everything right now looking good.
And he'll bring it out of the end zone. He stopped short of the 20 at the 19 and probably wishes he'd just taken the touchback. Vanderbilt has the ball again, and here comes that Commodore offense. They're going to need to get something started, finding themselves in a 3-0 hole. And just a short, safe pass play, they pick up a few.
Great effort by the defense here. Offense trying to go wide receiver screen. How about the speed on defense rounding the football?
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. He leaves it with his back. Pass the sticks and still on his feet. They stay aggressive and push their way out to the 33, and it's 1st down.
Well, the defense is on their heels right now. They're going to have to find a way to stop this guy. When he's got a head of steam, boy, he is hard to bring down.
With the 1st down, they'll put it in play from the 33. To the air, it's Pavia. Throws for the tight end. And he dropped it. Incomplete pass in what would have been a huge gain. No defender anywhere around, and he just flat dropped it. Backed up now, here's 2nd and long. On the ground, it's Alexander. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
But how about that defense on the snap? They are in the backfield with great penetration. Nowhere to go for the running back. That defense was sitting on G, waiting on O.
DKR heating up and trying to make 3rd down impossible here. From the gun, wants to pass. Caught over the middle. It's Hoskins. And he gets it to the 45-yard line, and that'll be a 1st down.
Obviously, 3rd downs are so critical because you get an extra chance to wear that defense out. Great job by the offense. Great job by the quarterback completing the pass, getting the 1st down, moving the sticks, fresh set of down, continue to wear on this defense.
Trying to move them on the counter. We'll give him a couple on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And you want to run the football. That's okay. He'll take some of these. But if they start to add up down the road, obviously, you might want to think about airing it out a little bit.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. They'll move the wide receiver. Touch pass on the jet sweep. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
I like offenses being creative. I'm not sure if that was the best place to call that play. I think this offense needs to think about just doing things a little bit more by the book. They've got a lot of good playmakers. You don't have to reinvent the wheel this early in the game.
Dropping back, it's Pavia. Finds his man, it's Hudson. And a good pickup there. They'll move the sticks for a first down. Let's see if they try to get another snap before the quarter expires. Guys, it is Texas who holds the lead. And we've come to the end of one. And let's take a quick moment to catch up on the stats. Lots of time left and ready to go back at it here in the second quarter. So they'll go back to work after changing ends of the field. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Makes the grab, it's Hoskins. Dragged down, but they'll move the sticks for a first down.
You know, the defense doesn't have an answer for this slot guy right now. They may want to think about bracketing him, having a defender play to the outside and to the inside. Probably some sort of zone coverage where you're trying to get two bodies, forcing the quarterback to have to go somewhere else with the ball.
Quick handoff. Big pickup on the ground here to keep this drive moving and give them a first down.
Well, obviously the offense went 3 and out on their last drive. They're having a little bit more success here. That was a nice run, and I think that's the key, guys. If they're able to run the football, they're going to be able to stay on the field. And I think that's something you want to think more about if you're the play caller on offense.
They'll give it to him again. Wrestled to the ground, but he's inside the 10 and down to the 9. Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. The give out of the gun. And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, Commodores. They just took the air out of that thing. That might be an understatement. They took the ball away and just wore down, just grinded away at that defense.
And took a lot of time off the clock in the process as well. I'm impressed with the physicality up front of this offense, because that's where it all starts. If you're going to march the ball down the field like they just did, you've got to be dominating in the trenches, and they are doing that in this game right now.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point makes it 7-3. They put it in the end zone with a 12-play scoring drive. And what a way to finish it with a 9-yard touchdown run. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. And he takes this from inside the 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. And here comes the Texas offense back on the field. They'll start this drive with a chance to regain the lead, down 7-3. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage, tried to put a little move on him, and it didn't help much.
And this offense on first down, man, they go backwards. And they've built a deficit, and they've been sluggish. And they just need something to get going, to get started, because they've kind of looked out of sorts and out of rhythm this whole game.
Finds the tight end. And that had all the makings of bug meat windshield, but how about the little corner taking on the big tight end and keeping him from getting the first? This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. Looking downfield, it's Manning. And with the completion out to the sideline, they'll pick up a couple.
Deep to shallow. That's what I have to understand that as a defensive guy. I take away those passes beyond the sticks, and then I react to those quick throws they have to the running back. It's my athlete versus yours. The defense won that battle.
The Longhorns will punt it away on 4th down. They'll boot it away for the first time tonight. And the punt team gets down there and gets the return man on the ground. Vanderbilt has it back and heading out to go on the attack. Last drive went for 6. We'll see if they can do it again. Got the quick completion. Looking for room at the 40. There he goes. And the defense was on its heels after that long completion.
I know it's early in the game, but defensively after that play, you know you have to tackle the catch. When this guy gets the ball in his hands, he is so dangerous after the fact. So it's okay for him to make catches. You just got to get him to the ground quickly.
The Commodores, after exploding for that huge run, back to work. Here's the handoff. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. They tried to run the counter, but absolutely nothing doing.
And those counter plays take a little longer to develop sometimes. You usually pull in 1 or 2 guys, and that penetration in the backfield can kill you. You can get to the running back before he gets started.
And the Commodores now with a long way to go to pick up the first down. Catch in the middle, it's Alexander. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
Bells and whistles have got to be going off in this quarterback's head now. It's 3rd and long, so you know you're expecting pressure. You got to know where your hot routes are. You got to be able to read the coverage and make sure you get this football out of your hands quickly to not take a sack or worse, turn the football over.
The quick out. They'll try to cap off this drive with a field goal. This whole place going to see if this kicker can operate in the sea of noise. It's good. Now up by 7 points here in the second.
And that's not the way they wanted to end the drive, but nice job being ready and your field goal kicker coming through and putting 3 points on the board.
After putting 3 on the board, the kickoff unit ready to go. On the move from inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. Looking downfield, it's Manning. The short hands, it's Wingo. And they'll finally get him down after a terrific pickup. Guys, the levels of hype and impatience awaiting the arrival of Arch Manning pretty much unsustainable over the last couple of years. Meanwhile, Quinn Ewers was pretty doggone good. But Arch is pretty deserving of all of this attention, I'd say, Jesse.
He's very, very talented. That jumps off the film when you watch him. You can see why he was so highly regarded coming out of high school. You can see why Texas fans are so impatient to finally watch what he does this year. Now, it's one thing to do it against Louisiana Monroe. It's one thing to do it against UTSA and Mississippi State. Can he do it against the Georgias? Can he do it against the big boys in the SEC on a consistent basis? We can't wait to find out.
And now on second down for this offense. Back to pass. Throws to the tight end. Good quickness to grab it off the deflection. They get him out of bounds. Couple of yards short of midfield. They'll mark it at the 48, and this offense is rolling. Finally, this offense starting to show a little juice. They've got a 1st and 10. Back in motion, try to clear the picture. Coming out on 1st down with the play fake. Find some fresh air. Good pickup on that play. It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
And the Longhorns can play this 2nd down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. Throws to the wideout. Grabbed in the middle. It's Wingo. They've got it inside the 30. They'll mark it at the 28. It's first down.
I'll tell you, man, I love quarterbacks that have arm talent, but that can throw it accurately at the same time, and you saw all of it on that in route.
The Longhorns will line it up on 1st and 10. Grabbed over the middle. It's Wingo. And a good job of coverage by that defense. Just a short pickup. So now it's 2nd and long. Wide receiver going in motion. The play action fake. Fires to the wideout. Wide open downfield. The stop is made, but this offense is threatening. 1st and goal from the 9.
And a nice job working the middle of the field. I think it's so important to keep defenses honest, and you can't just dink and dunk outside. You got to work the middle. Great job finding this wide receiver over the middle of the field.
Trying to barrel in. Touchdown, Longhorn! Haul that baby in and then stroll into the end zone for the score.
Nice job putting a drive together. Nice job punctuating the end of the first half. There's still some time left, Palmer, but they can tie this thing up right now.
Yeah, and this is a staff that has so much confidence in their offense. I like staying aggressive right here, going for 2, taking the lead into halftime, and putting a ton of pressure on the opponent.
Extra point here will tie the game. And they add the extra point to finish the drive. So an 82-yard drive there. And they cap things off with a 9-yard touchdown pass. They're ready to kick it away, and this crowd is buzzing after that last score. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. First snap of this drive will come from their own 17. Wants to throw. It's Pavia. Working that wide receiver screen. And that defense is all over that one. No room to run after the catch. Just enough time to get off one more snap. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. Got it in the middle, it's Stowers. He'll be brought down, and that's the final play of the half. That's the end of the 2nd quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
Fellas, you've been calling a first-rate game so far from Austin today. And it's been a hard-fought battle today. 2 teams out there playing ball and treating this crowd to a memorable first half. Seems to me, and I know I'm going to sound like a coach here, the team that limits turnovers and strings together productive drives is going to be the one celebrating a well-earned victory today. And with that, let's get it back to our fellas at DKR.
Commodores will kick it away to crank up the 2nd half. He'll bring it out. And the returner is stopped. Here comes the Texas offense. First drive of the 2nd half, always fun to watch. You see what type of tweaks were made at the half, especially when you're locked up in a ball game like this one.
Yeah, and it's been a good game. I mean, it's been a little bit of back and forth and a feeling out process. And now once you get in the 2nd half, who's going to get aggressive, Palmer? Who's going to take some shots, try to make some plays, and really go for it?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think as play callers right now, you learn a lot about these coaching staffs with respect to who does make the best adjustments. There's a lot of coaches that believe we're just going to be who we are. We're going to keep doing what we do. We're just going to do it better. But then there are others that tweak things a little bit on offense and on defense. We're going to find out here.
Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down.
And finally, the defense is able to get some pressure on this quarterback. They had been trying all game long, different ways to affect him, weren't able to get there. But on that play, because of the pressure, it affected his accuracy. That's why the ball falls incomplete.
To the air, it's Manning. Just missed his man, gave him just a little too much.
Defense did a great job. 3rd and short on the opponent's side of the field. They're expecting quick throw. Everybody, they dug their heel in the ground. They're able to break on the ball, force the incompletion.
The Longhorns send out the punt unit. That last punt basically flipped the field. They'd like to do it again. He gets it up to the 34-yard line before he stopped, and that's where the offense will set up shop. Vanderbilt has it back and heading out to go on the attack. And points have been hard to come by in this one. They'll try to put together a drive. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
And you're seeing on both sides really hard to run the football in this one. You've got to give both of these defenses tons of credit. They are so physical up front. These defensive lines can take the game over, and right now, it's tough sledding on the ground.
Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Looking to fire. Got it in the middle. It's Hoskins. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few.
The defense has their hands full trying to stop this guy in the slot. They're going to have to figure something out to bracket him, try and get 2 bodies around him, maybe get some safety help as well, because right now they do not have the answer for this guy.
Horns up and ready to hook him. Serious noise on 3rd down in DKR. Catch in the middle. It's Stowers. All out of space. The inside. Touchdown Vanderbilt. And that one will give them the lead.
Man, football, there's so many weapons now with small slots and big wide receivers. And then you got the tight ends now that have the speed to catch the football, chew up ground, and get to the end zone and make those big plays like he did right here.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. Quick strike offense on that 3-play scoring drive. And they finish with a 62-yard pass for the score. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. The Longhorns sending the offense back onto the field. They really didn't move the ball at all the last time they had it, and hoping for better fortune this time around. A strike downfield. They finally get to him. But what a play there to pick up the first down.
This tight end is such a weapon because he can line up all over the field. That time he starts in the slot. He's running the corner route against zone coverage, and he's just got athleticism and wiggle and the ability to separate and make big plays. So nice to have a target like that.
Running back searching for a hole. And I think they'll give him 2 on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And I think this has probably been the most surprising thing of this game so far. This guy's one of the best running backs in the entire country. They just can't get him going. He's never been able to get into a rhythm. You got to give the defense so much credit because they have been able to shut this guy down. And they got to keep that up here in the second half.
Big time play by the defense. He'll lose 4.
Well, they're trying to get that run play going to the outside, but it's the defensive end who does a great job winning his one-on-one and forcing the negative play.
Even if they don't convert, picking up a few would give them a decision to make on 4th down. It's 3rd and long from the 45. Lost one deep down the right side. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch.
And you thought maybe in this second half this offense could just find a rhythm, find something to take advantage of this defense, but the defense has really had their number, not putting up a lot of points, and again, an empty possession right there.
The kick is on its way. And the ball hits at the 3 and gets into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Vanderbilt has the ball again, and here comes that Commodore offense. Not much there. Picks up a couple to the 22.
I think if you're the coaching staff, you have to like what you've seen from this guy so far in the game. He's pumped out some really nice runs. Obviously, he's already scored a touchdown. Really nice run there as well. And for me, I would keep thinking about creative ways of getting this guy the ball as the game goes on here in the second half.
Snagged in the middle. It's Hoskins. Just gashing this defense. A big gainer to the 40-yard line.
And if I'm a defense, I got to find a way to get some more pressure on the quarterback or disrupt their timing and their rhythm. I can't give them these big chunk plays through the air. I got to be maybe a little bit more aggressive or do something a little bit different.
One big play, and you go from a little backed up to threatening. It's 1st and 10 from the 40. Out of the gun, they'll run it inside. And a nice run there before the defense finally makes the stop.
And winning first downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on first down that they're going to run the football. So them getting that big chunk, getting in second and short, not a good job by this defense.
Trying to impose their will with the run. And he's stuffed by that big defensive tackle up front.
You got to have that defense you know you can go to in running situations. Your base defense where you say, okay, this is where I'm going to start, and I'm going to stop the run, stuff it up front. My guys play big up front. Then if I need to add some blitzes to it later on down the road, I can. A great job in the base defense making a play.
Looking to throw, it's Pavia. Fires to the big fella. Moving deeper into enemy territory. Move the chains. It's 1st down at the 27.
Shotgun fundamentals are so key. He was like a shortstop. Caught the shotgun snap and right away rifled it out of his hands like he was turning two. That was beautiful.
And the Commodores are moving quickly down the field. He'll keep it himself. And they didn't get it forward an inch. Defense wins the battle up front.
I don't think the quarterback made the right read on that play. I know they're asking a lot of his QBs, got a lot to focus on with the pass game and all the different types of runs that they have in their playbook. But on that play there, that pre-snap look told me to hand it off.
To the air on 2nd down. Quickly out to the tight end. Out of bounds he goes. They'll mark it at the 16.
And that's why QBs love their tight ends so much, right? Especially when they're athletic, because they make short throws turn into long gains. Because of his ability after the catch, it's so unique and special. He is dominant in this offense.
The Commodores have it with a 1st and 10. They'll send the back in motion. Power football with the run. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
And that's why he is an All-American caliber player. He is just so physical and dominant against the run. He's able to shed blockers, use his athleticism, use his speed, get to the ball carrier and bring him down. Simply one of the best box defenders you're going to find in the entire country.
Caught over the middle. It's Stowers. The ball is down at the 14 after that grab.
I think that time offensively, you're just trying to take what the defense is giving you, right? They're playing zone coverage. You got your big fella just working right over the ball. It's an easy pitch and catch. Just take the profit and let's keep going.
Well, guys, Vanderbilt has the lead here as the quarter comes to a close. And we've reached the end of the 3rd, and time is running out if they're going to cut into this deficit. Let's take a look at our game stats before we move on. Here comes the 4th. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. After swapping ends of the field, they gave him a little time to figure out how they'll open the final period here on third down. He's got it and still on his feet. They'll get him stopped just short of the end zone, but they're in business here with a first down.
And you just get the feeling that this defense has to find a way to get off the field and get the football back at this juncture of the game, trailing late if they're going to win.
And this offense not only has a chance to extend the lead, but they can also drain that clock. Trying to barge in. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
And, man, it's nice to have a guy that is just better than your guys. And no matter what play you call, man, how about him getting in the backfield quick, penetrating, using his quickness, and using his strength to get him to the ground? That is a ball.
The run up the middle, trying to power to the goal line. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Now third and goal, and tough yardage to cover here. Looking to throw, it's Pavia. Going for 6. Knocked away, incomplete in the end zone.
What an awesome job in coverage there. Critical third down, deep in their own end. They're able to break on the ball, swat it away, and now you set up fourth.
So on fourth down, here comes the field goal kicker in a huge spot. That is no good. And the margin is still 7 after the miss, guys.
Well, everybody in the stadium thought that was an automatic 3. Not so fast. Bad miss by the kicker.
So now the Longhorns take over and they'll send out the offense. Another opportunity here. They had to punt it on their last possession, but this time tight game, hoping to get something on the board. On the move at the 30. He steps out right at the 40-yard line, and now they are in business moving toward midfield.
And they executed that running back screen to perfection. Quarterback held on to it. He let the rush get to him. Offensive lineman got out in position, and the running back sold it too. Once he had the ball in his hands, he just had blockers and green field out in front of him. They pick up an explosive play on a running back screen.
After that big gainer to open things up, they'll put it in play from the 40. They'll try the run. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line 2nd and 7. Wants to go up top. Got it set up on the outside. Across the 45. They drag him down, but not before he's moved the chains and the screen pass is effective. That is a time-honored way to slow down the rush, hit him with the screen, and a chunk play.
Yeah, such a great job because you're flying up the field to get to the quarterback because everything looks like pass down the field. Let those guys get up the field, throw it right behind him. He does a little bit of the rest, making some moves, getting upfield, making the big play.
Able to pick his way forward for a decent gain before the defense gets him down.
I know that wasn't a huge, sexy gain. I know not everybody's jumping up and down, but what it does do is put you in a great position to succeed on 2nd down. 2nd and 10, really hard. 3rd and 10, really hard. Now you're in a manageable situation. It really gives you the whole playbook.
Keeping it on the ground with the single back. Defense is there to greet him again, and they are ready, and he has found nowhere to run tonight.
Well, they're just trying to run the ball, but that time there was absolutely nowhere for the running back to go, and as a result, that's a tackle for loss.
It's 3rd down, and they've got to get it to the 33. Looking for a man. It's Manning. Here comes the heat. Quarterback feeling that pressure, and he's knocked down at the 42. The number one job is to protect your quarterback, and they weren't able to do it long enough that time.
This offensive line, Reese, they've got to do a better job communicating pre-snap and try and figure out which people on defense are going to be rushing the passer. Right now, this offense just looks confused up front.
And now on fourth down, they will put it on the shoulders of the kicker to save them with his foot. It doesn't always have to be pretty, and that one wasn't, but somehow he hooked it just into that left corner. That'll cut the lead down to 4, 17-13. After putting up a 3-spot, the kickoff unit set to go. Coming out with it, it's Sherrill. Rolling the dice to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. Vanderbilt has it back and heading out to go on the attack. He'll pull it on the read. And they're able to shove him to the turf as they stop him for a short gain. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Working well behind the sticks on second down. Off play action. And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12.
When it's a play action pass, that quarterback, he really has to sell the fake. He can't tell his offensive lineman's getting beat right away while he's selling the fake. He had no shot.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. Dropping back, it's Pavia. Lofts one high and deep. Almost intercepted, and what a momentum swing that could have been, but they still force a fourth down.
Man, is that the opportunity they needed. That is exactly what this defense needed. They need to swing momentum. They needed to get the ball back to their offense if they wanted to win this football game. Just such a huge missed opportunity.
They kick it away on fourth down. Little pressure on the coverage team there, and they'll stop him at the 47-yard line. So Texas has it again, and here comes the offense. From the gun, running back on the move.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
And the Longhorns can really attack on this second and short. Out of the gun, the inside give. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. We've reached the 2-minute timeout, and time is of the essence for this offense to get things done. The Longhorns are at the line looking to convert on third and short. He's looking to throw on third and short. And it's incomplete. Good play downfield by the DB.
I know they've got all their timeouts left, but it feels like this is the ball game right here. Fourth down, the quarterback's got to do something special, knowing that they need a touchdown here to win.
Down 4 late, they have to convert on fourth down to keep hope alive. He'll go up top, maybe a deciding play here. He's got it, first down and more. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the first down.
And you just wonder if this defense now is starting to feel it a little bit. They're a bit on their heels after that fourth down play to keep this drive going. Someone's going to have to step up here and stop the bleeding. They're only up by 1 possession.
Looking for a man. It's Manning. He's got him. You'll take this every time. 5 yards on the first down play.
You got to like this defense, man. All game long, great job tackling the football. Like, you throw it on the perimeter, they're coming up. They're not giving the run after the catch of these receivers. A lot of times you see so much damage done after the catch. This defense has been dialed in, and the big play has been a non-issue.
He's going for a big play downfield. And it's caught inside the 15. They immediately call timeout, trying to preserve every second they can to try to rally here late. And the Longhorns will snap it on 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. Touchdown, Texas! They've got the lead here in the 4th.
This is an offense that has so much confidence. They believe they're able to win the game when it matters the most. They've got the playmakers to do it. You saw it on that last touchdown. Now taking the lead with less than 2 minutes to go.
This one's big to make sure they can't beat you with a field goal. He's got it, and the lead is up to a field goal. They just finished off a 53-yard scoring drive, and they finish it with an 11-yard touchdown dart. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. Fielded in the end zone, it's Sherrill. Rolling the dice to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. Opening play of this drive comes from the 13-yard line. And that's a very productive first down play in bringing up 2nd and 3. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play, trying to preserve every minute possible. To the air, it's Pavia. Just a short pass to the tight end. The offense gets a quick timeout at this point. Every second is precious. Love the way he didn't just run to a spot. He found the cushion in the zone and got himself open for the first down.
Yeah, and you're taught to find that space. Don't run right into a zone defender who's sitting there looking at the quarterback and looking at you. So much creativity with routes now, of being able to just have subtle moves one way, come back the other way. Nice job by the tight end finding that hole in the zone.
He's trying to get them set quickly. They have to get the ball into field goal range. Second down, he'll throw it. Intercepted, and the defense has set him up.
Aggressive versus reckless. It's such a fine line when you're trailing and you need to make plays late in the game. The offense was reckless, turned the football over, and this one doesn't look great.
Running out the clock seems to be a mere formality here as they are ready to snap it in victory formation. And they'll take a knee. It's really the most common type of upset we see every year. The home field advantage is so big, and especially when you have a ranked team come to town, they love to play spoiler.
Yes, and what needed to happen happened in this football game. Something good to happen early to get the belief and to get this crowd involved. And when the crowd gets involved, Jesse, it changes the game, and I think it had a lot to do with the outcome today.
I agree. I'll tell you, regardless whether this team is ranked or unranked, when their home crowd is like they were today, they're tough to beat, period. And you know this crowd and these fans, they're going to be celebrating this win for days and days to come.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.